Over the weekend, cybercriminals pulled off the largest ransomware hack to date. And while the potential $70 million payout for these criminals may be alarming on its own, the fallout from this event serves as a warning sign for even the most well-versed of cybersecurity experts. We'll cover this topic and more as we sit down and sync up with Rocket IT's technology update for Wednesday, July 7th. Hello everyone, I'm Chris Swinson, your technology insider here at Rocket IT, and welcome to another episode of Sync Up, your new home for trending technology news. In this episode, we're exploring the breach that recently hit software development company Kaseya. So before we begin looking at the breach that took over Kaseya's network, let's first elaborate a little bit on what Kaseya is and what it means for the rest of the cybersecurity community. So as you might know, not every organization is fortunate enough to have an internal IT department on hand. And so, as a resort, they look towards outsourced IT as a solution for their needs. Using remote management systems, Kaseya is essentially able to offer these outsourced IT organizations the opportunity to manage network and security of their clients from afar. Unfortunately, on July 2nd, Kaseya had a slight issue as their internal system was breached by an unknown outside source. Within 1 hour of being notified of this infiltration, Kaseya's team got right to work trying to figure out what exactly the cause of the breach was, and in turn, they shut down their entire network of remote management software. Now, as with most attacks, cybercriminals wait until the most vulnerable and opportune time for them to strike. And as you might know, last weekend was the 4th of July weekend, and this attack occurring on July 2nd was no random occurrence. And while Kaseya's team may have responded within just an hour, unfortunately the damage had already been done, and the cybercriminals were able to weasel their way onto Kaseya's network. But not only that, they were actually able to spread a little bit further and spread to 50 clients of Kaseya. Now, in perspective, Kaseya does have 35,000 clients, so while that 50 may not seem like much, it's important to note that many of Kaseya's clients are actually outsourced IT vendors. So what this means is that while only 50 managed IT providers were hit in this attack, their customers felt a little bit of the hit as well. Fortunately, while Rocket IT was not directly impacted by this Kaseya breach and its customers are completely secure, the same can't be said for a lot of other outsourced IT managers out there, and their customers are still at risk. So using Kaseya's internal updating system that it typically pushes new firmware with, the hackers were able to then spread the virus from not only Kaseya to their vendors, but then also from those IT providers to their customers as well. And it's expected that the number right now of impacted businesses is between 800 to 1,500 businesses. Now, while no major US businesses have come forward at this time to reveal that they've been hit by this attack, it's important to note that small businesses in particular are feeling the main brunt of this attack. That said, this isn't to say that larger businesses are completely out of the woods just yet. Some larger form businesses, such as Sweden's Co-op grocery store, faced a huge downtime last week as nearly 800 stores were forced to close as their networks were down and their registers were unable to connect. Again, while many businesses are still coming forward and the investigation is ongoing, it's expected that this ransomware attack is the largest one in US history. Currently, it's expected that Russian-based hacking group Revil is responsible for this attack, and they're currently requesting that Kaseya pay $70 million in a payout to resume services for their clients. While Kaseya has yet to comment on their readiness to pay this massive ransom, they have responded that they're working diligently to restore services for their clients. And in a statement from Kaseya CEO Fred Vicola, he said, "Our global teams are working around the clock to get our customers back up and running. We understand that every second they are shut down, it impacts their livelihood, which is why we're working feverishly to get this resolved." The important thing to note here is that this attack comes just 2 weeks after President Biden warned Vladimir Putin to stay away from cybercriminal attacks on critical US infrastructures. And while it's uncertain if the Russian government had any say in this attack, President Biden has made it clear that there will be repercussions if that is in fact found to be true. Now, currently Kaseya is working very closely with US government agencies to make sure they've got a grasp on this breach and ensuring it doesn't happen again in the future. But with that said, cybersecurity analysts are predicting that the shutdown from this event could take weeks to recover from if proper backups weren't kept. In the meantime, Kaseya's remote management software remains shut down for most of its customers, and the organization's executive committee met on Monday to discuss further actions on when those services would be restored. That said, as Kaseya does begin to start releasing patches for many of its customers, the FBI encourages many businesses that may have been impacted by these events to come forward with any information they might have. In the meantime, to stay up to date with this topic and other future cybersecurity related incidents, make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for the next episode of Sync Up with Rocket IT.